Hi everyone, welcome back. This is part 3 of the heart anatomy lecture, and we left off talking a little bit about the heart's own circulatory system, which is called coronary circulation. So the myocardium has its own blood supply. The blood that enters into the atria and the ventricles needs to be pumped out to the body, and there's a small amount that needs to be reserved for the cells that make up the myocardium itself. And so the way that the cells get their blood is really from the aorta. So looking back at this picture, the right side of the heart is here, and then the left side of the heart is on this side. And remember, we're looking down on top of the heart. The atria and the great vessels have been removed. And so what we're looking at here is just the severed portion of the aorta and the severed portion of the pulmonary trunk. So what happens in order for the myocardium to be nourished with oxygenated blood is this. The left ventricle contracts. It's going to push blood through the semilunar valve, pushing the valves open so that blood flows kind of out at you through the screen. But then when this left ventricle relaxes and the pressure in the ventricle drops, gravity is going to pull blood back towards the little cups that make up the semilunar valve for the aorta. And the blood is going to pool there and force this valve closed in order to prevent backward flow into the left ventricle. But as the blood pools in this little cup here, some of it is going to enter into these two openings that we have here. And as the blood enters the two openings, it's going to enter the right coronary artery and the left coronary artery. And the right and left coronary arteries are going to branch off and divide further to form smaller arteries that are then going to serve different areas of the heart itself. So that's what we're going to explore next. Because as you can see, like my right coronary artery is going to swing out from the base of the aorta. It's going to swing around to the posterior aspect of the heart, as well as form a little branch on the front side of the heart. And here, my left coronary artery is also going to form some branches while swinging around to the back side of the heart too. So none of the cells in the myocardium are going to be left out. So let's first look at the left coronary artery. And what I want you to notice in this picture first is that there's been a section removed from my pulmonary trunk here. You can see there's a whole chunk that's kind of missing. And the reason for that is so that you could see exactly where the left coronary artery is traveling. And so it branches off of the base of the aorta, and it's going to travel behind the pulmonary trunk, and then it branches right away. My first branch travels down the front of the heart, or the anterior aspect of the heart. This is called the anterior interventricular branch of the left coronary artery. It's going to serve the cells that make up the septum and cells that make up both ventricles, the right ventricle and the left ventricle. The second branch of the left coronary artery is called the circumflex branch. And you can see, like right here, the auricle of my left atrium has been flipped up in this picture, and this circumflex artery is going to run underneath that flap, underneath the left auricle. And then it's going to flip around to the back of the heart. So let me show you that that view next. So here is the posterior aspect of the heart, and remember that it's like we're looking at the back of somebody who's standing in front of us. So their left is our left. So this is the left side of the heart, and this is the right-hand side of the heart. Now, the circumflex artery that I was mentioning, so here, this is the auricle of the left atrium, and here is the circumflex artery traveling underneath it, and then here is that first branch of the circumflex artery. That is number 3, and that is called the left marginal branch, which is going to serve cells of the left ventricle. So those are the different branches of arteries off of the left coronary artery that you need to know. Now let's take a look at the branches of the right coronary artery. The right coronary artery is also coming off of the base of the aorta, but it swings over to the right side of the heart. And as you can see, it's following the coronary sulcus, which is right below the right auricle. And again, this is number one. Number one is showing us the right coronary artery. It's going to serve cells that make up the right atrium and also some highly specialized cells called the SA node. We're going to talk about the cells of the SA node, which is short for the sinoatrial node, during the next lecture. These are cells that are responsible for setting the pace of the rhythm of our heartbeat. So it's very important that they get the oxygen and nutrients that they need so that our heart keeps pumping every day. All right, so the very first branch of the right coronary artery that you need to know is called the right marginal branch, and that's going to come off right over here, right where our number 2 is. And I know that there are some other arteries that you can see on the picture, but these are the main ones that I would like you to know. That right marginal branch is going to serve cells of the right atrium and the right ventricle. Now, we're going to follow this right coronary artery as it follows the coronary sulcus to the posterior aspect of the heart. And so again, we're looking at the back. This is the left ventricle. This is the right ventricle. And here is the right coronary artery as it travels. And now here is its branch. This is called the posterior interventricular branch, and it is going to serve the cells that make up the interventricular septum and also both ventricles on the posterior aspect of the heart. And so those are the coronary arteries that you need to know. But equally important to bringing oxygen and nutrients to the cells that make up the heart is taking away carbon dioxide and waste products. It's the veins that are going to do that, the coronary veins. So let's take a look at some of those important ones too. All right, so the very first coronary vein that I would like you to know is called the great cardiac vein, and that is going to share the anterior interventricular sulcus with the left with the anterior interventricular branch of the left coronary artery. And so the left coronary artery anterior interventricular branch is going to carry oxygen and nutrients to the cells of the right and the left ventricle. And then our great cardiac vein is going to take the deoxygenated blood filled with waste product and carry it away from those cells. Now you'll notice that the great cardiac vein is going to swing around to the posterior aspect of the heart, again following along the same path as the circumflex branch of the left coronary artery. So we're going to see it again when we flip this heart around. All right, here we go. We flip the heart around, and the great cardiac vein is the blue vessel that's coming in through here that I've just colored green. Since we're looking at the back side of the heart, let me just move myself here. Since we're looking at the back side of the heart, here is the left ventricle, and then here is the right ventricle. All right, so my great cardiac vein is going to stop at about here, and it is going to merge with blood that is coming up through our vein that is labeled number 3. This is the left marginal vein, which is sharing the same area as the left marginal artery. And then number 2 is pointing to the middle cardiac vein. So the great cardiac vein is on the front, the middle cardiac vein is on the back. It's sharing the posterior interventricular sulcus with the posterior interventricular artery. And so it's going to carry blood back up that has been deoxygenated to this swollen portion, which is labeled number 4, which is called the coronary sulcus. So all of these cardiac veins are going to merge into this portion here called the coronary sulcus. And the coronary sulcus is going to dump all of this deoxygenated, waste-filled blood into the right atrium. So it's all going to merge into the right atrium, which is right over here. So blood from our coronary sulcus, blood from the body, from the inferior vena cava and from the superior vena cava. All of that deoxygenated blood is going to come into the right atrium from all of those different blood vessels. All right, and so those are the different veins that you need to know. And if you are inclined, this is another good video on how blood flows through the heart and then out to the body. And so if you have time, I strongly recommend that you watch that. All right, and here are my references. That is all for part 3 of the Heart Anatomy lecture. Thank you so much for watching all of these different parts, and I hope that you found it interesting. Talk to you soon.